Keyshanna K.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so songbird, vocalist, creative. Tell our viewers about yourself.
Well, I like the introduction that you gave me. That is like so wonderful. I am a singer. I am a songwriter. I am an actor, and also I have a hair salon, and I just started a skincare line. So I'm just like all over the dang on place. But all of these things I've been doing for years. So I have tried to perfect each craft, but I just absolutely love singing. I've been singing since I was 4 years old, and it's just been always a passion of mine, and definitely like something that I always wanted to pursue.
Okay, so then with that, how did you get into singing?
Church.
Church.
Yep. Church, my family, a lot of people in my family, like my mother, my grandmother, and my uncles, they all were like band members or either singing or, playing an instrument. So that definitely started me into just the love of music.
Okay, now where are you originally from?
I'm from Chester, Pennsylvania.
Okay, and is that where you are now?
No, I live in Delaware.
Okay,
Yep.
all right. You have an
boring
accent.
old Delaware.
Delaware?
That's what everybody always say. People always say I have an accent. I don't know if it's from like my family is from the South, so it might be a reason. I don't know.
I don't know. You have kind of like a New Orleans accent.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It's very strong. It's thick. It's thick in these streets.
Why? Because when I went to New Orleans, they say I sound like I'm from up north.
What? Maybe they just found to where you weren't authentic New Orleans.
Right. That's probably what it is.
So then, and it's safe to say that, like you said, you've been doing all these things before the music. So what, out of all the things that you're doing, what was your favorite enterprise?
Definitely music.
The music.
Definitely. Yes, definitely. Like you can just get lost in it. Like I don't know, there's nothing that can compare to it for me.
I think you are a bomb vocalist. Like I went through a few of your cuts and then your latest single, and I'm like, gosh, she's so freaking talented. So like, who was your voice? Like, cadence.
My mother helped me actually. I used to always sing like in the backseat of the car. And one day I guess she was just tired of me singing off key. So she was just like, well, just try to sound like the person that's singing, And all of a sudden I just was blowing one day in the backseat of the car. And they turned around and was like, oh my God, like you really can sing. And I'm looking at them like, oh really? Like 5 minutes ago you said shut up, now I can sing. But that's when I found my gift. I was like 4 years old and I started singing. And then I was singing in I think it was pre-K. And then I ended up doing, they was like, oh my goodness, who's singing? So I ended up doing the graduation and I sang there. Like that was my first gig.
Wow, at pre-K?
Kindergarten graduation. Well, going into kindergarten, that was my first gig.
Oh my God, that's crazy that you were so talented and that you were precise at that age.
Yes, and I was fearless. Like it didn't matter. I could sing, dance, whatever you want in front of anybody. It didn't matter. Like then my mom put me in pageants and I went from there and I was performing in every pageant. I had trophies from, I always won first place talent portion, like always. I had it hands down.
With the talent shows?
Yep, always.
What is one of your biggest lessons you learned getting into the music industry or just like becoming who you are now?
Being naive in the beginning. Because I grew up as a preacher kid and I was being very trustworthy of people when I needed to be in the books learning what the music business was really about. So definitely that was one of my biggest lessons, where it's just being knowledgeable, like trying to learn what the business is, because I didn't know in the beginning. Like I thought that everyone had my best interest at heart and they didn't, So that would be one of my biggest lessons, is just definitely just trying to learn the industry.
Right, and then you're doing so much and even trying to learn the industry with the balance of juggling the businesses and everything else. So how do you do that, like with kids and all that you have going on?
Right, it's a struggle sometimes. At night Like I have specific days. Like, okay, Monday is my money day. Thursday is I have to, my fine or reading days, or trying to just read up on my books. Like sometimes I just do like a chapter, and then write about it, think about it for the rest of the week. And that's all I can get done. Then that's all I can get done. Like I'm not Superwoman. I just do what I can do. And then like dealing with the children, it's like they jumped on board my schedule. They're like, all right, well, mommy has to do this. She has to do that. And then we're going to go ahead and see her after she's done that. Right. Or sometimes, they'll come with me. Like a couple of weeks ago, in the last studio session, I took my daughter and she sang on the record. Like I had her do my background. Aww. And it was like, I knew she could sing, but I was like, oh my God, like she really can sing. Like, so I'm like, go ahead and do the background thing. Go ahead. Next thing I know, I'm going to put her own song, So it gets challenging sometimes, but I mean, I schedule everything out. So that really helps.
So you are goal driven, basically.
Yes. I really am.
And that works perfectly for you with your finding balance and work-life balance.
Exactly.
Now, my next question. You're signed to 144,000 chosen few? Okay, so how did that transpire?
I had a manager that recommended me to meet Judah. Mm-hmm. And this was like right in the middle of the pandemic. This happened in this November, actually, that just passed. And he was, I think, on tour or just leaving Memphis or somewhere. And I was in South Carolina visiting the manager. And next thing you know, he like, wait, I got somebody I want you to meet. They really like your music. I sent them, a couple of cuts or whatever. And I'm like, okay, well, let's talk. So he got him on the phone. We busted up. And next thing you know, he sends me a song. And he's like, go ahead and do this. And I'm like, okay, what do you want me to do with it? Well, this is what it's called. And I want you to write a song to this. And I'm going to jump on it if it's good. So I'm like, all right. And I gave him the song. I did it. He sent it back. He said, listen, you killed that song so good that I don't even want to do nothing with it. Like, I'm scared to get on it. Right. Like, I'm scared to even rap on it. So I was just like, oh, wow. But I think that song is actually on his album right now. It's called Can I Take You Home? And it's for me, it's like an R&B kind of pop thing. But either way, that's what jump-started this whole thing. And he's like, well, do you have this? Do you have that? Do you have your artist page? Do you have... And I'm looking like, maybe a little. Like, I got some of that. Let me check off that, and I'll get back to you on the other things. Right. So that just, like, started the whole... I don't know. Whatever this is, that guy is, dealing with me with, I'm excited. So...
Oh, that's awesome. So that was a transition. Did you start out with gospel and transition into R&B?
Yeah, when I first started singing, I definitely was gospel. I toured with a gospel group called Men and Women of Glory for 4 years. And then I stopped with that. And then I just started doing my own thing. And here I am with Judah. So
you are blowing, okay? Because he is a hard critic. So if he says,
yes, he is.
Man, he don't hold back the punches, like gut punches, throat punches. So when I saw that you were signed to him, and I'm like, oh, she must be bomb if she's signed to him. And not just that, Who-Mag, you're with Who-Mag, and they don't you have got to be super talented.
Rob is what he don't play no games.
Right.
So yes.
He don't. So I'm like, oh, she bombed. So that's what intrigued me more. The fact that you're affiliated with not just anybody, but reputable people. So how does that make you feel now? Like you said, you trust in God for the journey, but this is huge for you.
It really is. And honestly, when everything was going on in the process, it was just like I said, being trustworthy of people. And I'm like, in the beginning with my one eye, like, oh, okay, we'll see. And then after everything just started really rolling, because, you hear all this talk. Right. But when things are really put into place in action, you're like, oh, hold on. This is really, wait a minute. The ball is moving and I'm not on it. like the ball is for me, but wait a minute. I gotta catch up. So that's where I was at for like a couple months. And then now I'm just like, all right, I'm on the ball now. Let's go. Because it was just like, I felt like the hardest part for me for this whole transition is letting go of the reins, because I'm such a controlling person sometimes that is like, oh, well, I can allow someone else to help me, and I can allow a team to develop like I don't have to do everything.
Right.
You know, that you can free up some time for yourself. Like you don't have to micromanage everything, Keyshanna, you know.
Right.
So that's been a little challenge. Yes.
So tell me about your newest single, True Story, and what influenced that track.
A relationship.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And it's like, I think everyone, well, I don't want to say everyone, but most people I know have been in this situation where you're in this relationship and then all of a sudden this person isn't who they say they are.
Ever.
And you're like, wait a minute. This is Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Like, this is a whole nother person. So I just wanted to tell a story. So that's why I called it True Story. Like, this is a true, real story. First of all, like a really true story in real life. And then also this is a true story for a lot of people. So I felt like it would connect with most of my listeners and most of my fans. And boy, did it ever. I had people like reaching out to me saying, listen, you wrote that especially for me.
Right.
Like that was exactly what I've been going through right here, right now. And at first I really didn't like the flow of the song. Mm-hmm. Like I felt like it was too like, you know, too slow or just not enough added. And I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna leave it alone.
Right.
And I'm gonna put it out. And if it hit, it hit. If it doesn't, I still gave it my best. So
right.
That's basically True Story in a nutshell.
And is that, so you have other singles coming out, an album? What else do you have going on?
Yes, I do have an album coming out. I'm working on a project now. Once everything is, I picked all the songs, I'll be able to have a project name. But right now I don't have anything, but I'm definitely working on a lot. Yeah, I'm working on a few things. Like I just did a cut with a sample of Guy, Piece of My Love. So I'm really like, I performed it in New York with another artist, Callie the Chef, and it went crazy. Like people really loved that song. So I'm excited to see what else we have, coming out of that. So, and it's my first sample. Like I've never sampled anything because I feel like I have enough creativity in me to do new music, new stuff. So, I was just like, let me just try it out. It was sent to me. I love the beat. I'm like, all right. And it was a sample, but it kind of sounds like a different song at the same time. So I'm like, okay, we can do that.
Oh no, you are correct. You are super, super talented. Like you are a traditional R&B singer where you don't have to have, extras to make your music pop. Your music pop because you have the vocals to make them pop. So
thank you.
Yeah, girl.
Thank you. Thank you.
So
it's crazy to hear all the feedback because you think in your mind like, oh, I'm not there. Oh, I need work. Oh, because I do voice lessons. I really work on the craft. So it's just like to hear people say, no, you really sound. You're like, really? Thank you. Like I appreciate it.
I'm proud of you for taking it up that next level because some people don't feel they need vocal coach or.
Oh yes. The best of the people get vocal coach. Like, are you kidding me? Right. Nobody has arrived. Like, we all are struggling. We all need to just keep thriving and getting better and better and better. And then not only that, even if I am let's say somebody that, everyone knows, I still have to learn how to sing for all these shows. Like, I'm about to go on tour. I still have to learn how to sing for tour because I can, strain my vocal cords. I can mess a lot of things up that I'm doing wrong. It's a certain way that you have to sing every single night, than opposed to just singing on a track or just one or two events.
Right.
Like, I don't know. I'm here for the long haul. I don't want a short term.
Right.
Like, I want this
artist development.
Yes, like the whole thing.
Did you know that Faith Evans was the one who was Mary J. Blige's vocal coach?
Really?
Yes.
I did not know that. See, listen, I love learning new stuff. I did not know that. That's amazing.
So every time I hear that someone's actually pursuing that, and I'm like, man, that's another Faith Evans and Mary J. Blige situation right there. So that's phenomenal that you took stock in that. Like just the whole artist development. And like you said, you get ready to go on tour. Do you do boot camps? Like what else are you doing?
No, I haven't done a boot camp, but I have a few that has been sent to me since COVID has, restrictions are coming up. People are starting to get out and about. And I'm like, you know what? I am going to try one this year. I wanted to do the ASCAP one because they do have one. Mm-hmm. And then COVID hit. I was all ready. I said, I got my money ready. I'm going to go ahead and but I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'll find one that's, different. So I'm definitely excited to do a boot camp because I want to see what it's about.
Right.
I do. I really do. Like, cause I do hair shows. I go to hair shows. I train myself over and over and over again. So for a vocal, like, oh yeah, I probably just fall in love.
And did Judah not tell you about them boot camps?
No, he did not. See, now when I get off this phone.
Oh. So with that, what is one of your biggest fear that you overcame as a singer?
Performing live.
Performing live?
Yes. Like as a child, like I said, remember I would go out and I would dance, I would do everything. Like you have no fear. But people start to make you not want to do this. Like, you know, because here comes all the criticism and, oh, you should do it this way, you should do it that way. Here comes all the business side and this and that. You're like, okay, I don't even want to perform anymore. So like just going out and bearing all of you into people that you never met before is a double-edged sword. Like it's phenomenal at the same time, but it's also so scary, you know, because it's like people are judging you, they're looking at you, and then you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna give it my all. Forget it, like here I am. You know, like I'm just gonna pour all of me into all of you guys.
Right.
And it really works when you think about it like that. And that's like something that I had to get over, you know, and try to move forward.
What year, like, was it fairly recently that you got over your fear?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. It was, you know, I was probably 12.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like probably like 12 years old.
I said they do the doggone thing. Now come with it, okay?
Yes.
So, setbacks that help to shape who you are now, at least one.
Setbacks. Music. Sometimes you think you have the right music, the right songs, and you have the right producers on everything and all the tracks, and you like, this is not working. I gotta go back to the drawing board. Like I don't like anything. Like this is A. You know, like let's start all over. This is, for me, that's a setback, financial setback. Like I thought we had all the monies together to go ahead and do this video or start this project. Nope, can't do it now. You know, so, you know, life happens.
Right.
I was in the middle of, you remember the Meek Mill's project when he was doing the Rose Red? I did the girls' hair and makeup for that video shoot.
Really?
And then I was like in the same studios with the same people coming up with the whole thing. And then I got pregnant. That was a setback. And it wasn't like, oh, you can't do that while you're pregnant. No, I was sick for like 4 months. Couldn't even, as soon as I got out of the bed, it was like, oh, here come everything else up again. So like, that was a setback for me because I felt like I was on that, you know, page, let us go. We all were coming up together and it was just like, nope. So, you know, you get a lot of setbacks. You know, here you are.
Here you are, signed, sealed, and delivered. Okay.
Yes.
So then you have the song that's out, and then you have merchandise. Can you tell us about that?
The merchandise is my girlfriend. She's an artist. She just drew me like this cool logo. And it has like this, put some respect on my name. And then I got like Keyshanna K. Cause you know, people have a problem with saying my name. So,
right.
Right. So I'm just like, you know, try to teach people how to say it, how it's pronounced. But I have t-shirts, I have mugs, I have, a couple other things. Like I want to start like these little fan club boxes. I haven't decided on what I want to put in them yet, but it's a few things that's coming up that I feel like, you know, people would like.
Okay. I love that. So this is a weird question, but I feel like it's necessary for self-preservation and mental health, you know, for self-love and all that Zen stuff. So your favorite place that helps you declutter the stresses of the world?
My walk-in closet.
Okay.
Let me tell you why, because I literally made that a space for me. Like I have my prayer rug. Like I'm not Muslim or anything, but I have a prayer rug. I got my candles there. I have my crystals. I got my sage and my pillows, and it's just my own private environment that I locked myself away from the children, away from everyone else. Like my incense, and that is my space. Like it's literally my space, and I can de-stress, declutter myself, whatever it is that I need to put inside that box right there is that walk-in closet. That is me.
Okay. Okay, that's a safe haven right there. That's your prayer,
Yes.
prayer closet.
Yes, it really is.
I love
It really is.
that.
I don't have a space for a whole prayer room, so I was like, I'll do a closet.
I love that. So it's kind of reminding me. What is that? The War Room? Did you see that?
I remember. Yes, I haven't seen it, but I remember that there was a movie, right?
Yes.
Or yeah.
With T.D. Jakes, and he was saying that you have to go into your safe place, your prayer closet, or whatever, that war room, so you can pray or do whatever it is you need to do to get that spirit, that not so great spirit up off of you. So I love that. I'm going into my closet. How about that?
Listen, I was my family called me a Jamaican because I had so many jobs, but I created them myself. That was the crazy part. Like I used to go around and clean people's houses and organize, their houses for them for money because I just hated working for people. But this lady, she had her like a deck. Well, I want to say a deck, like maybe like a little tiny room that was upstairs, like an attic, and she made it her prayer sanctuary. It was beautiful. So that always made me feel like I need one of these. Right. And it took me years to get it. And when I finally got it, I'm like, oh my goodness, why did I wait so long for this? Like, you really need your own space. You really do.
You do.
Like, just even if you're not going in there in a prayer, but just for like some sanity.
Right.
Because it's a lot, especially when you juggle so much, like myself, or people who don't juggle so much. We juggle a lot mentally and not even realizing it. So you need that space. You really do.
Right. When queens rule, they carry the weight of the world on their
shoulders. Yes, that is so true. That is so true.
So tell our viewers, and this is my last question, where can they find you, follow you, download your music, like get busy with it?
So I am the official Keyshanna K on IG. I am Keyshanna KK on Twitter, Keyshanna K on YouTube, Keyshanna K on Facebook. It's spelled KEYSHANNA-K. And also you can find my music on all platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. Don't just stream it, purchase it, show some love.
Facts. Purchase that. Like, it is worth it.
Thank you. It's 99 cents. Ain't gonna hurt you.
Right. And especially for people who love R&B, true to the fact R&B music, yours is definitely where it's at. I do have one more question. Staying true to that, staying true to your craft, was that difficult to do when you're trying to find your way with so many other creatives doing something else differently?
Yes and no. When I go into the studio, I don't kind of like think about, what's going on. Let me make sure I stay a trend there. I just go and just bear myself. But to be successful or to be noticed or seen, sometimes that can be a problem because I don't want to do a lot of things that other people are doing. And I still, I don't want to compromise. I want to stay true to who I am. And, I have little girls who are looking up to me. So I'm like, I have to make an example. I have to be a representation. Because, like, what happened to that? What happened to the R&B singers being different and showing other women, like, this is who we need to be in the street? Like, what happened to the self-empowerment Beyonce? Like, what happened to her? The All for Women Beyonce? Like, what happened to that? So, like, I miss that. I don't want to be, a thought and twerking and beating men in the head and all that for money and all that kind of stuff. Like, I get my own money. I'm okay. Like, I miss those days. So I definitely try to stay true to who I am.
To the artist.
Yes. Yes.
I love it. So that was my final question. Do you have anything else you'd like to share?
No, purchase, not single, please. True story. All platforms. Thank you so very much for having me on the show. You are a wonderful, wonderful, beautiful queen, and I do appreciate that.
Thank you. Likewise.
You're welcome.
You already know.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good night.
Have a good night.